lied to me for a whole year," I said, my voice trembling with deep hurt. "You never mentioned you were married." I felt used, realizing our entire beautiful relationship was built on a massive lie. I was a substitute for a man still breathing. She looked me in my eyes. I loved him deeply. It's the machine that is keeping him alive. And the doctors have already declared that he wouldn't make it. But I love him. And I couldn't switch off the machine to let him go. Sometimes paths crossed unexpectedly in this vast spinning world. I stepped into the bustling supermarket, my mind completely blank. Then I saw her standing by the glowing fruit aisle. She wore an elegant yellow dress with sleek black shoes. Her inviting lips parted slightly. Our eyes locked instantly. A silent, powerful connection sparked. Neither of us spoke, yet everything changed. She lingered by the apples, pretending to inspect them. I adjusted my shirt, frozen in place by her sudden captivating presence. There was an unspoken understanding passing between us. In that crowded aisle, the world around us faded into static noise. We just stared, smiling faintly before she turned away. It was a brief, beautiful moment that I wanted to continue on end. Something changed inside me, but I couldn't tell what it was. Back home, loneliness crept into my quiet bed. I tossed and turned throughout the long night, thinking of her radiant smile. My mind kept replaying her striking yellow dress and graceful posture. Who is she, and why does she look like someone who had crossed my path in my previous life? I whispered to the dark ceiling. I desperately wished I could see her again, just to hear her voice and know her better. Despite her presence, felt so wonderful. The next morning, I narrated the encounter to my closest friend, Ovia. He listened, then laughed loudly, his razor-sharp mouth sparing no feelings. "You are not man enough, my friend," Ovia mocked, shaking his head. "A whole modern African man, paralyzed by a woman of your dream. You should have spoken to her immediately. Now you have lost a precious gem," he giggled. "I don't know what happened. You know me, Ovia. I am not shy to speak my mind." "Then what sealed your mouth?" Ovia mocked. I kept quiet, thinking of her. Days later, I walked out of a pharmacy holding flu medication. Suddenly, there she was, walking towards a parked SUV. She saw me and froze. I quickly walked up to her, smiling warmly. "Hello, lady," I said smoothly. She chuckled softly, her eyes crinkling. "Hello, supermarket stranger," she replied. "You smell incredible," she murmured, leaning slightly. I breathed a sigh of relief, thanking God I wasn't rushing or smelling bad today. "Thank you. Your perfume is quite intoxicating too," I answered, feeling my heart race. We stood by a silver car, having a wonderful conversation. We felt instant comfort, as if we were old, reunited friends. A week later, we sat at a cozy, dim-lit restaurant for our first official date. Our laughter filled the air, melting away my lingering nervousness. "I really enjoyed your company," she confessed, touching my hand gently across the table. "The feeling is entirely mutual," I replied happily. We talked for hours about our favorite childhood memories, tertiary institutions, jobs, and lots more. We bid each other with a goodbye kiss, and we both felt surprised. Our next date ended up at my apartment. We talked, laughed, and she ended up spending the entire weekend with me. On Monday morning, a shadow of guilt crossed her beautiful face. "I shouldn't have stayed," she whispered anxiously. I hugged her tight. "Hey, look at me. It's okay. I love you, and I'm your man now." She quickly cheered up, realizing this was a beautiful beginning. "You are special to me," she replied, and walked to her parked car. That day, I felt like I had won the lottery. I had dated beautiful women in the past, but I have never felt for anyone the way I felt for her. My body and soul were at peace. This is the right woman for me. We dated for a whole year, building memories. She was a beautiful, brainy, and highly respectful woman. I introduced her to my family, and they absolutely loved her vibrant spirit. She's the one, my mother whispered happily. I truly loved her, and I knew our future would be great. We constantly discussed building a happy home together. However, a strange pattern emerged during our relationship. Every Tuesday, she looked deeply sad and detached. "What's wrong, my love?" I asked one evening, holding her close. She paused and then gave me the brightest smile. "Nothing is wrong, sweetie," she lied softly. That smile always gladdened my heart, temporarily putting all my dark doubts to rest. But deep down, I knew something was bothering her. She wasn't pretending about how she loved me. I hired a private investigator to follow her around every Tuesday because I wanted to make her happy. And the reports and pictures the PI gave me nearly broke my heart, but I couldn't stop loving her. One cool evening, my family gathered for dinner. She looked around the lively room and smiled mischievously. "Will you marry me?" she asked me jokingly in front of everyone. "No, I won't," I replied loudly. Everyone laughed heartily because they knew I adored her. They thought it was just a playful Nollywood banter between two deeply infatuated lovers. The truth was, I had earlier showed my family a gorgeous diamond engagement ring I bought to surprise her. Later that night in my room, she teased me playfully. "Why did you reject me in front of your people?" She laughed, pulling my shirt. I giggled. "Because a queen deserves a real proposer," I said, pulling out the ring box. She gasped, her eyes widening at the glittering diamond. But before handing it over, I pulled out a photograph I found in one of her purses. It was a picture of a handsome man. "Who is he?" I asked. "My source says he has been in a deep coma for 2 years." Her playful smile instantly vanished. She broke down completely, falling to her knees. She grabbed the picture from my hand, pressing it hard to her chest. Then she kissed the picture fervently, ruining her makeup. I stood frozen, watching her agonizing grief unfold before my eyes. The cheerful woman I knew had completely shattered into a million painful pieces. I looked at her. She was sad. "This is my husband," she confessed. Heartbreaking sobs. She began narrating a pitiful story of her short-lived joy. "We were driving to our honeymoon destination 2 years ago. A reckless driver rammed into our car. I escaped with minor injuries. His brain was severely damaged. Every Tuesday, I visit him at the long-term care hospital, hoping he would hear me one day." I listened, feeling an intense pain, but a cold hunger quickly washed over me. "You lied to me for a whole year," I said, my voice trembling with deep hurt. "You never mentioned you were married." I felt used, realizing our entire beautiful relationship was built on a massive lie. I was a substitute for a man still breathing. She looked me deep in my eyes. "I loved him deeply. It's the machine that is keeping him alive. And the doctors have already declared that he wouldn't make it. But I love him, and I couldn't switch off the machine to let him go." I closed my eyes. The PI report was detailed. It stated that Mr. Osifo had no living family. He was a wonderful, lovely man. His friends had stopped visiting him, and the doctor had told her to let him go because he wouldn't make it. I held her close. The love and kindness in her face touched me deeply. I held her closer than the way I have ever held anyone. "I love you, but I cannot build my future on deception," I told her family. "Do you know I have no other friend apart from you? I will finally let him go, but give me some more time. I don't want to lose you." Unfortunately, my mind was made up. She wept, begging for forgiveness, but the trust was completely dead. That was how I broke up with her, returning the diamond ring to its dark box. It was the hardest decision of my life, tearing my heart into pieces. Now I sit alone wondering if I was too harsh on her. Was I wrong to walk away from a woman I loved? Our tragic past wasn't our fault, but the deceit ruined everything. If you were in my shoes, experiencing this emotional twist, what would you do? Would you forgive the secrecy, or would you walk away just like I did?